In a last-ditch effort to reignite the spark in their marriage, Jenny declared that she needed some time off. She had planned everything, down to the last detail, but what she didn't anticipate was how her husband, Mark, would react when she dropped the bombshell. "It's so nice to be home, and no, I don't have to head back to work for a whole week," Jenny said, stretching as she walked into the kitchen. The early summer breeze flowed through the open windows, adding a sense of calm to the tension about to unfold. "I'm glad you're home, Jenny," Mark replied, but his curiosity was piqued by her remark. "What's this about not working for a week? You didn't mention anything about time off." Jenny casually poured herself a glass of water, maintaining an air of nonchalance. "I'm taking a week off, annual leave from work, you know. I could really use the break." Mark raised an eyebrow. "A week off? It would have been nice to get a heads up. Maybe I could have taken a few days off myself, and we could have planned something together." Jenny smirked, her eyes twinkling mischievously. "Oh, Mark, sweetie, this isn't that kind of break. I'm taking a break from work, and from our marriage." Mark blinked, trying to process her words. "Wait, what? What are you talking about, Jenny?" With the casualness of someone discussing weekend plans, Jenny continued, "I've come to realize that marriage is a lot like a job. It's demanding, takes up all your time, and sometimes you just need a break. So I'm taking one, a week off from being your wife." Mark stared, utterly baffled. "Are you out of your mind? What kind of nonsense is this?" "Think about it," Jenny said, as if explaining something perfectly reasonable. "Jobs offer annual leave to refresh employees, so why not marriages? We've been stuck in a rut for years now. It's time for some space. I'm going to Miami to enjoy myself, and you're free to do the same. When I come back, we'll be rejuvenated, and our marriage will be stronger than ever." The ridiculousness of her plan left Mark momentarily speechless. You're joking, right? You think you can just take a break from our marriage like it's a hobby?" Jenny shrugged. "It's for the best, trust me. We've both been on autopilot for too long. We need some time to remember who we are outside of this routine. Oh, and don't worry about me. I've already got everything booked. I'm leaving tomorrow." Mark's blood began to boil. "Leaving tomorrow? With who, exactly?" Jenny smiled a little too smugly. "My boyfriend." Mark stood frozen, the shock numbing him for a moment. "You have a boyfriend? Who is he?" "Relax," Jenny said, waving him off. "It's just for the week. You'll hardly miss me. Besides, I've moved most of the money into a separate account, so you don't do anything drastic like cancel the credit cards while I'm gone." "You done what?" Mark's voice was dangerously low. Jenny's confidence wavered slightly, but she remained resolute. "I deserve this, Mark. After everything I've done for this family, I need a break. You'll see. When I come back, everything will be fine." Mark watched in disbelief as she turned to leave. "Oh, and one more thing," Jenny added with a wink. "If you find a nice girl while I'm gone, feel free to have some fun. Just make sure she's gone by the time I get back." With that, she walked out, leaving Mark standing in the kitchen, his mind reeling. Jenny left for Miami the next day, confident she had everything under control. She spent the week indulging herself, sipping cocktails by the pool, enjoying fancy dinners, and spending her nights with her boyfriend, Matt, an old college fling. It was everything she had fantasized about for months while planning her marriage sabbatical. But what she didn't know was that Mark had been doing some planning of his own. 1 week later, Jenny returned home, expecting everything to be just as she had left it. She walked into the house, calling out, "Mark, I'm home." But there was no answer. His car was missing from the garage, and the house seemed oddly still. She shrugged it off, figuring he was giving her the cold shoulder for a few days. She went to the bedroom to unpack and found that Mark's clothes, his toiletries, everything, were gone. Panic set in as she realized he hadn't just stormed off to blow off steam. He was gone. "Okay, Mark, play your little game," she muttered, dialing his number. To her surprise, it went straight to voicemail, and when she tried calling again, it said the number was disconnected. Her heart sank, but she told herself he was just trying to scare her. The next morning, Jenny's panic turned to frustration. She tried to use her credit card to buy groceries, but it was declined. At the ATM, she discovered her account had been drained. Furious, she stormed into the bank, demanding to know where her money had gone. The bank clerk showed her documents with a signature that looked suspiciously like hers, but it wasn't her handwriting. That's impossible. I never authorized this. Jenny protested. The bank employee calmly explained that the money had been transferred to an account under her husband's name, with her supposed approval. There was even a forged driver's license with Jenny's details, but the photo was of a woman she had never seen before. Realization hit her like a freight train. That bastard, she hissed. Mark had outplayed her. She rushed to the police station, filing a report for fraud and identity theft. But without a clear lead on Mark's whereabouts, the authorities couldn't do much. Jenny was left in financial ruin, her accounts empty, and her marriage in tatters. As the weeks passed, she received no word from Mark, until one day, a letter arrived in the mail. Dear Jenny, the letter began. I know you thought you were clever, planning your little vacation and having your fun in Miami. But I've had some time to think, and I realized something important. While you were busy plotting your escape, I was preparing mine. You see, I've spent years working as a defense attorney, and in that time, I've met some very talented people. People who know how to forge documents and create fake identities. One in particular was a woman who had once been caught for counterfeiting. I found her after she served her time, and she agreed to help me in exchange for a little favor. She forged your signature, took out the money you thought was safely tucked away, and transferred it all to me. We used a fake ID, and because the bank didn't know you personally, they never questioned it. As for the rest of your assets, let's just say they're no longer accessible to you. I didn't just take a week off from this marriage. I took a permanent leave. You can consider this my resignation. Good luck with your new boyfriend. You're going to need it. Sincerely, Mark. Jenny's jaw dropped as she read the final words. She had underestimated Mark, thinking he was just the dependable, boring husband. But he had outsmarted her, leaving her with nothing while he disappeared into the wind. Reader comments. Wow, what a twist. I thought she had it all figured out, but Mark really pulled the rug out from under her. Revenge served cold and sweet. User 12,345. This story is like something out of a thriller novel. I was rooting for Mark the whole time. You go, man. Jesty21. I love how the husband used his legal expertise to turn the tables. It was so satisfying to see Jenny get what she deserved. Dave loves pizza. Mark's calm and calculated response is the best part. He didn't need to shout or scream. He just walked away with everything. Chef's kiss. Sorrel Reds. This story makes me rethink the idea of marriage breaks. Maybe it's not such a great idea after all, huh? Real Talk 79.